Hello, I'm Benjamin Fry, and today we're going to be looking at why losing it can be a sign of progress. So if you have what we call a dysregulated nervous system, it means that your ability to respond to threat right now in the present day is compromised by your unfinished response to probably many threats before today. What this does is it sets off your reactions to threat either too early or too late. And it means that you exaggerate the response to threat in the here and now in a way that isn't helpful and doesn't make sense if you don't understand your history and your physiology. So the end result of this is that there's basically only three ways of dealing with life. You either respond to things that are happening just right, which we call the Goldilocks solution, or you respond too much, or you respond too little. And actually, this comes in that order, because when we think about evolution, if you've seen any of the blogs or videos about the way that dysregulation was caused by evolution, you'll know that these relate to three different states of being in response to threat from the evolutionary hierarchy of hundreds of millions of years of development. So you can be frozen in response to a threat. You can be in fight and flight, which is extremely active. Or you can be quite even. You could be in what we call a social engagement system. And those three are, if you like, the three different models we have of being responding too hot, too cold, or just right, like Goldilocks' porridge. Now, if you've got a healthy nervous system that's not dysregulated, and a problem or a stimulus comes at you in life, and let's say it's like a 3 out of 10 problem, then the way we look at this is that's the trigger into your nervous system. Your nervous system, if it's a bit dysregulated, is kind of like a ball of unfinished business, like a sort of red blob. You get stimulated by this trigger that's maybe a 3 out of 10. And if you're going to have an appropriate reaction to it, one that's going to work for you to solve the problem, your reaction is going to be a 3 out of 10. And that's the way you deal with it. Like, let's say you're quietly sitting at your desk reading something and there's a sharp knock on the door. You get up from your desk, you go and look through the keyhole in your door, you see it's the postman, you open the door, you receive your post, you say, "Good morning, how are you?" And that's the end of the incident. You go back to your book. Now you can imagine how somebody might overreact to that or even underreact to that. An underreaction might be, for example, not checking that it's someone safe before you open the door. An overreaction would be to leap out of your chair and start to throw boiling oil out of your bedroom window at the invader of your castle. And these are quite trivial examples, but we're doing this all the time, all of us in our life. The important thing to start to see is that 3 out of 10 response is just right. But the next place to go in terms of dysfunction is to go to maybe the 9 out of 10, the boiling oil out of the window on the postman reaction. Because that's actually an escalation of where we might be if we had a 3 out of 10. And then if you understand the history of evolution, you understand how our nervous system works, you know that the frozen response, the 0 out of 10 response, the one where you just get up like a zombie and you open the door politely, is actually worse than the person who's throwing oil out of the bedroom window. And the reason for this is that when we can't fight or flight, the next level of threat response is freeze, is submission, effectively. So lots of people go through their lives getting some credit for being submissive, and they get some rewards for it. They become very compliant employees, perhaps, or very easy partners to be in relationship with. And yet there's always something missing. There's a kind of pushing back on things, which everybody needs in order to feel safe and productive, which doesn't come from these people. They don't always grow in these positions. They don't develop. They're kind of sleepwalking through their life, but they're not too difficult. And so therefore, they're often given the rewards of not being difficult. Whereas those of us who are extremely reactive, maybe explosive, maybe much more the 9 out of 10 reactors, can appear to be considerably more difficult. So it comes as a great shock and a great surprise to people and their friends and colleagues and family when somebody's in treatment or somebody's trying to recover from, say, a difficult episode in their mental or physical health. And they go from being somewhat of a doormat character to somebody who has very strong opinions and very strong reactions. And often people say, oh, well, this is a sign that they're actually getting worse. Whereas if you understand evolution, you'll understand that actually it's a sign of someone getting better. Because if you can come out of freeze into fight flight, it means you're less overwhelmed, you're less frightened, you're less shut down, and you're less far away from the Goldilocks response of, say, a 3 out of 10 reaction to something. So it's very important to notice that when you find that life is starting to make you want to speak up or speak out or create difficulty where previously you might not have done so, that can be a very important sign of healing, progress and transformation. And it can show you that your nervous system is becoming more robust and more strong and more capable of dealing with threat. The problem is that if it goes too far in that direction, you can start to disturb the relationships and the environments which nurture you in that recovery in the first place. So this is a message really to individuals who are in treatment, but also to the people who encounter individuals in treatment. And try and be more understanding when you look at the nervous system, you look at evolution, that people who might have been docile before, who now start to seem like they're losing it, are actually making progress, they're making recovery. What they need to do is to support themselves to feel safer in that progress and to be supported by others, to be told that they're making progress. And we'll look in other videos and other blogs about ways that this transition can be managed and made more healthy. But the main point I wanted to make here was that people who have been easy to deal with, who maybe then become more difficult to deal with, their lives are not necessarily going in the wrong direction. They may be on the path to recovery, and it's important that they support themselves with positive messages and that they're supported by others, because they're on the path to Goldilocks, and that's where everyone wants to be. Thank you for watching this video today. I'm Benjamin Fry, and these are ideas from my latest book, The Invisible Lion. If you'd like to know more about the book or look at resources related to it, please have a look at the website, theinvisiblelion.com.